So here we are in this first episode about miniature sculpting, and actually I should say pilot episode, because in this first episode we will talk only about the tools. So what are we gonna use and how are we gonna use it? First of all, if you ever wondered what should you get to make some conversion on your models or sculpt an entire model, that's the green stuff. The green stuff is this little fella here. So you can get it. This is actually discounting tubes, but you can get it also in a stripe like the GW one. I prefer this one for two main reasons. The first one is that if you buy the stripe like the GW one, the two parts are touching. Since the reaction starts when you mix them, actually in the striped one the reaction has already begun in the middle. So eventually, if you don't use it quite fast and do not consume it quite fast, actually you will get that middle part to get hard, and you'll have to throw it away. So you're gonna waste some material. The other reason why I buy these tubes actually is because these tubes come in 100-gram portions, which means that actually you get a lot more of it. Since I use a lot of it, actually I prefer to get these, especially since you pay for 100 gram about 15 euros, while the GW 25 gram package actually costs around between 8 or 10 euros. I do not remember now. Anyway, you can get this from the original producer, which is Silmasta, I believe, or you can buy it from some independent suppliers. There are a lot of them out there. I will leave some links, I suppose, that I use to buy green stuff. But anyway, it doesn't matter if you get tubes like me or just the GW stripe. It depends on how much you consume it. This is what you need. So how are we gonna use this? Well, the two parts have to be mixed in order to obtain the green stuff. Once it is mixed, you have around, they say 2 hours, but that's not true. You actually get about 45 minutes to work with it, after which it gets too hard and you won't be able actually to obtain the good details. You will still be able to do some refining of what you have sculpted in those first 40 minutes, but you won't be able actually to get that good smooth feeling when you sculpt it. So how do we sculpt the green stuff? Well, I use only two type of tools, which are like the basic, let's say the basic tools, and these basic tools are the metal ones, which are these guys here. There are a lot of them. I have about 11 or 12 of them, I don't remember anymore. However, they have all kind of different points. They all have two different points, and so it's a huge amount of tools, but you don't have to get scared. Actually, if you look at it, I mean, there are so many of them. How do you use them, why do you use them, and so on. I hope that in these videos you'll be able actually to learn how to use pretty much every single of these different tools. Anyway, some of these are much more important than the others. Actually, out of these, the tools you're gonna use like most of the time are only three, and those are the most important tool, which is this one. According to me, this is actually your most important tool, your best friend in terms of miniature sculpting. It's a scalpel, nothing more, nothing less, just a small scalpel. It's this sort of blade. It has a very sharp edge on this end. It has a point here and a dual side on this side. This is what you're gonna use to cut green stuff, to apply it, do the first sculpting, the first smoothing, and so on. This is your best friend and the most important tool you're gonna use. You're gonna use it pretty much for everything. And this is the jack of all trades and master of none, actually, because for specific works you will need other tools. You can't actually execute everything with this, but you can everything at high levels, but you can actually execute pretty much anything. So this is the most important tool. Except this one, there is a second important tool, which is this one. It's kind of similar, but actually it has no cutting edge. So it has these smooth sides and the point, and this is very good tool to actually do some organic works and smooth things. You're gonna use this to move the green stuff around, and without actually risking to pinch it or cut it or go through it or ruin actually what you were working, because there's no cutting edge. So it will always leave a sort of a smooth sign. So this is your second best friend. After that, a very useful tool that you will not use always, but pretty much every miniature needs it, is this. It's a simple point, nothing more, nothing less. If you don't have it, you can use a toothpick actually. This one comes with two sides. You have this other side, it's also a point with a hook, which is kind of comfortable because you can use it to reach parts that otherwise you won't be able to reach with this side, which is a bit thicker. So just a simple pointy tool. So that's pretty much it. These are your, as I said, these are your three main tools. Most of the models you will make will be made with something like this, or actually that's how it works for me. So all the others you see here actually are used for other things, and eventually you will get a chance to see how and why. But these are your main tools. Why do I feel that metal tools are the basic tools? Well, because they are actually hard, so they have no flexibility. So actually with these you get to train yourself to dose the strength you're using when you're sculpting, which is very important since we are working on really small surfaces. So if you are too harsh, your perfect face is gonna turn into a cow's spawn if you just do not get that strength right. Okay, so that's why these, you can find these pretty much anywhere. You can find them on Amazon, eBay, Alibaba, and all other kind of stuff. They are really cheap. I bought these on Amazon for about €3 for a dozen. I think they are Chinese besides that, and they are called clay shapers or wax carving tools. That's how they call them, but actually they actually use them even for sculpting small miniatures. So you look for wax carving tools or clay shapers and you will get these. Now there's a second type of tool that you will need, which are these other guys. These are the so-called silicone brushes, or again clay shapers. Why do you need these? Well, these have this smooth and very soft points, and this is what you're gonna need if you want your models to look neat. Again, there are some tools that are very specific and others that are more generic, but still you will want them eventually in your collection. They're a little bit more expensive. I don't remember, about 10 or 12 euros for all the collection, or 20 euros maybe, I can't remember. Anyway, again, you can find them on Amazon, internet, and it's full of independent suppliers that have them. And again, some of these tools are more important, and again the most important one is this one. This triangular point. It's actually, you use it in a similar way as you would with the metal scalpel. This is what you're gonna use to sculpt most of your organic parts. Once you have applied your green stuff with the metal tools and given them pretty much the shape you want, the general shape, this is what you're gonna work with in order to obtain the details. It's this tool. After this, there is another very important tool, which is this one. In this case, I have two different sizes of this one. This is just a smooth and flat tool. This is the holy grail if you want to make hard edges and build armor. If you're sculpting your space marines and you need some armor, this is what you're gonna use, and you will really need this. Cloaks are still made with this, and especially big cloaks, you're gonna want to use something bigger, because otherwise you will take you about half a century to make it with this one. So in order to get a bit quicker than that, you have this guy. The fat guy will allow you actually to make your cloth and cloaks smooth, or big parts of armature. So that's pretty much it. Then there is this pointy guy, which will allow you actually to sculpt some texture and stuff like that without actually going through green stuff like through butter. But then there are some other tools, but still, again, I prefer to show you actually the main tools for the moment, and then we will move to the more specific ones. Now, how do you use green stuff? Well, after you have showed you all of your tools, what are we going to use now is how to use your green stuff. Well, how to use it? You want to use small amounts, especially at the beginning, because it gets hard pretty quickly, and if you're not used to it, you will see that you're going to lose a lot of material. So it's better to use small amounts at the beginning and eventually then move to bigger amounts when you get confident with what you're doing. So when you use your tools on the green stuff, the yellow part is very sticky. So in order to avoid that, you will need a lubricant on your tools. This is gonna get nasty because I've tried a huge amount of lubricants. I tried oils, I tried Durex products and all kind of stuff, and they all pretty much work. But in my opinion, the best thing you can get for the as a lubricant for green stuff is your saliva. It's disgusting, it's kind of gnarglish, but that's the best thing you can get. So before actually touching even the green stuff with your tool, which will get stuck eventually. As you can see, it's really sticky. You will want to lubricate your blade. Once we've done that, actually you take a small amount of it. This will be fine for us. And you take a small amount of the blue part, which is less sticky and a bit harder. Normally at the beginning I suggest using equal parts of the two materials, but when you get more confident with it, sometimes you will want more yellow part or more blue part. It depends actually on what you're sculpting. If you're going more muscle kind of thing, you will want more yellow part. If you're going more like hard edges, space marine type of thing, you will more blue, because that way your green stuff is going to be a little harder, and that will make your edges really crispy. So mix it. You have to mix it really well. Actually, no stripes, no dots. Actually, it has to be perfectly evenly green, otherwise it won't dry perfectly and your miniature might have some flaws, and we do not want that. So you have to mix it really well, like that. And okay, so a few more seconds. Okay, so pretty much that's it. Once you've done it, this is pretty much what you get. This is your green stuff. This is how it looks. And in the next episode I'll show you actually how to make a cloth from this. So keep watching, and till the next episode, bye bye.